Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Talented Universe on this 13th day of January in 2026. I'd like to welcome everyone, and I'm going to say hi to my co-host for today, Marcia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's almost the middle of January already.
In
Um,
like 2 days, yeah.
wow.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to welcome, and I forgot to ask him how he pronounces his last name. I knew I'd forgotten something.
No problem.
That's just life. So I'm going to say Evan.
Yes, so it's pronounced Evan Camacho, spelled just like it sounds.
Oh, so I would have been correct. Okay.
Yes, the amount of names and pronunciations that I have heard over the decades is pretty damn hilarious.
Yes. Well, it's like I was saying, did he have to take out some accents? Because
yes,
you never know. So it can be everything.
My go-to whenever I have to announce anyone's names is, I apologize in advance if I butcher this name, so please bear with me.
I usually say that a lot in the chat room when I have to try to pronounce some people's names, especially if they have an avatar name that it doesn't make sense to me at all. But I do try to do my best. But those that are out there, and if they have a question they want to leave in, please put it in the chat room. If we have time and it's appropriate, we will throw it up on the screen. So my first question to you is, and I'm not sure you can give me an answer or not.
Okay.
Because I think there are a lot of them. How many verticals have you been in, and when did you start with this?
So I actually like telling this story because my vertical journey is actually very different from a lot of people. So in terms of sheer number, I would wager somewhere around 50.
And I thought at least 35. So
yes. Yeah. Well, I have over 40 on my IMDb alone, and I know that's not all of them.
Right.
Because some of them are not out yet, and I know some of them I don't think were ever released yet, but I know I've done them. So I've been doing it. Technically, I actually started in June 2024. However, and this is where things get kind of weird, my first vertical was a disaster.
Oh.
It was a nightmare. It was in the middle of summer. It was hot. It was uncomfortable. I had no idea exactly what was going on, and I was brought in as a day player. And I had never shot one of these before. I thought it was going to be day player like they were doing for like a major set or something like that. I had absolutely no idea what verticals were. And because of that, I got very confused at first as to what was going on. Eventually I picked up what was going on, but they took over a month to pay us. We were also about 10 feet away from a live wasp's nest in Santa Clarita.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
So me and several others were like, nope, I am not doing this ever again. So I swore off verticals for like 3 months. And then finally I started getting more and more auditions for it. And I started really getting hungry for work. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go for it. And that's kind of when I started. I kind of started getting my foot in the door and started getting moving probably around like late October 2024. And then this last year, pretty much every week, by the way, say hello to, this is Nero.
Hey, Nero.
This is Nero. He just turned 6, so he's an adult, but he's still the size of a puppy, so that's why he's so awesome.
Awesome.
That's why he's so awesome.
Sweetie.
Yes. But yeah, in the last year, I would say that those 35, probably within the last year of verticals that I did. And I played everything. I played everything from thugs to werewolves to my niche for a while, and I want to come back to this niche because it's so fun. Was this kind of sociopathic comedy guy where I was a nice guy, or actually no, I was on the side of the good guys, but I wasn't a nice guy. I was kind of this scheming, or I was this like, oh, fabulous. Let's just put things my way. So that was my niche for a while, which was really, really fun to play.
And after that, when you finally figured out what verticals were,
yeah,
and you tried to explain to someone that asked you what you had been doing, what did you say? And you might still be doing that.
I mean, the best way I describe them as they're soap operas with outrageous names. That is probably the most succinct way I can describe them. And sometimes, honestly, I know people think they're silly. I love the variety of names and to see it's like, okay, what thing are they going to come up with next? Because I think they're absolutely hilarious, and I love the names.
Yeah.
Names, yes, it's fun to see.
Well, yeah, when I started watching them, I would say over 50% of them had billionaire in the title.
Well, there are 4 kind of keywords that I've figured out. It's the CEO, the billionaire, the alpha, and or the mafia king or whatever. Yeah, those are the kind of the big 4. Although what I like though, I haven't done very many of them, which is kind of sad. But sports dramas have become very popular now. They really love like hockey. I know there was one because I knew a couple of members of the cast. They just did one where it was basketball. I got to do one that just got released pretty recently that was fencing. So that was pretty cool. Cool. So they are expanding into sports and stuff like that. They've got some football ones. I know they did a cheerleading one as well. So there's a lot of variety in there. I'm trying to think what else would be left. Oh, tennis, obviously.
Yeah, they seem to be going a little bit more in different directions, which is good. Well,
because the sports ones, they have an inherent competition drama in it as well. So there are the stakes of not only there's the romance and stuff like that, but there is the fact that it's like, oh, if you lose or you have to prove yourself, you will lose that status very quickly. So there is that kind of ingrained drama in there. So that's something that lends itself very well.
That is true. Well, I do have a question, and they confirmed that I thought this who it was, but they are the Italian vertical lover.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, yay. And they if it will come up. Of course, my computer is running slow again today. Okay, since verticals are a new filming and acting technique, and you started in June of 2024, is there someone you turn to when you need professional advice?
The funny part is that the people that I would ask about who would be actually my readers, because I used to read with a lot of people who were in a lot of verticals. And I would ask them, okay, I'm playing a lead or I'm playing supporting. You've done more than I have. How do your co-stars play these parts? Parts. That's kind of my go-to. And then the other one is honestly, I didn't really take anyone on for professional advice when I started doing verticals. I had to kind of figure it out. And that actually brings up to a good point, which is one of the best ways you can learn, which is why I actually encourage new actors that are not in verticals but on professional sets to do a little bit of background work, because at least you can kind of see how things work, and you'll pick up how to act, how to react to the camera simply by being there. That's just how you'll be able to do it, because that's actually something that has come up quite a bit, whereas that you get new actors who have never done any camera work except maybe some social media and maybe some modeling, trying to for them to learn how to be on camera is actually really important, because sometimes you'll have 2 cameras and they're both pointed at you, or sometimes you'll have 3 cameras and they'll be all over the place, and they say, wait, you can't step in that direction. It's like, you can't step that way because then your head is blocking this camera. Or, okay, I am here on this camera, like that's where I am, but your actual eye line is like over here. So make sure you know that. So my voice is coming from here, but you have to look over here. And that's something that's kind of tricky. So after a while, you sort of learn how to be on camera very quickly. So that's something I actually really like about verticals, is that they are giving people who have never been on camera the chance to really practice, train, and hone those abilities. Because especially if the camera in professional ones, if they start moving, not looking at the camera and being exactly where it is really important.
That is true. Marcia, I'm going to go ahead and go with you.
Yeah. So to kind of continue along that line, I've heard actors talk about in the vertical space, especially someone like you who you have a BFA, you've done
Hmm.
stage work, is to bring it in, bring your performance in,
Hmm.
so that you're projecting, but as you said, not moving. Someone was saying if you move 3 inches, you're
Right.
out of the.
Well, yeah, that's something I've always joked that whenever you have to do a wide shot in a vertical,
Mhm.
it's a V. So if I'm the subject, you got people there, they're not wide. If I move, you're right. If I move 3 inches, I block half the audience. Half
Mhm.
the audience. And you're right. What's funny about this is that verticals, in my opinion, are very much like they're modern day Shakespeare, which is, yes, it's big, but it still has to be contained right here. So all that energy that you have that you would normally put into your body, you have to put it into your emotions. You have to put it into your voice. You have to put it into your facial expressions.
Mhm.
So that is something. One technique that I have heard is a lot of times you'll practice. Sometimes you keep your hands in your pockets unless you need to actually reach out and either point at someone or grab someone or slap someone.
A lot of that
Classics.
going on.
It's funny, actually. Of all the stunts I've done, I seem to actually have the most trouble with slaps. Not getting slapped, I can do that pretty easily, but it's actually doing the slaps because depending on where the camera reads, you actually have to be very precise on where you hit.
Mhm.
So that's actually been the hardest one for me. I have to do the most retakes with slapping people, which is kind of hilarious.
And hope you don't miss the mark.
No, no, I have not heard anything, but every once in a while, sometimes you're like, oh, that was close.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
was close. But it's like, oh, it was real. Yeah, I know. It wasn't supposed to be real.
Yeah. When you get a script,
Mhm.
what is the first thing that you do with it? Do you read
The
through the whole thing or
hmm
zoom
always
in
read
on your
through
part? Yeah.
always read through the whole thing because then at least you understand where with verticals. Actually, one of the most important aspects is where are you in the story, and that sometimes you don't get it. Sometimes you're lucky and you get an episode count, like you say episode, like if it's within the first 10 episodes, you know right off the bat that you're going to be seen on social media. Like that's how they promote, like those are all the free stuff.
Mm.
And that tells you exactly where you are, because if you're in the first few episodes, you're setting the stage.
Mhm.
However, if it's later on, if it's in the teens, the 20s, or even sometimes you get lucky and you get like the 40s or 50s, which is the climax, that will tell you, okay, where is the scene and how do I play this? So first it's read the script, as much of it as you can. Sometimes you honestly get scripts that don't have any context whatsoever ever. So sometimes you have to just say, okay, work with what I got, and then figure out where you are in the script. And then you look back, usually at your character description, and say, okay, am I support? Am I the lead? Am I what is my relationship usually with the two leads?
Yeah.
And be able to play exactly what that relationship is, because that's the one thing that is very clear with verticals, is that there are very specific tropes and very specific types of characters that you play. Yes, you can have a lot of you can still have a lot of depth to them and still bring a lot of life to them, but they are meant to serve a very specific purpose most of the time. So are you the
Mhm.
assistant? Are you the villain? Are you the rival love interest? And if you are the rival love interest, are you a good guy, or are you a power hungry person? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of the nice part is the archetypes usually are very clear, but then it's up to you to bring you into it.
Mhm. When we're talking about the different types of verticals.
Mhm.
I started watching them last year, just last year, and I know in the United States it was probably maybe a year and a half in the U.S. before it started really taking off. I was not aware of the tremendous amount of views that verticals and mobisodes get.
Mhm.
Millions, even the
Yes.
billions, some of them. And
Mhm.
so, as an actor, being aware of how what your impact is, how many eyes are on you, what does
Mhm.
that feel like?
For me, it's the fact that, oh, there are literally millions of people who are watching my character be the way I am. And for me personally, because I have not been a lead. So part of it, though, for me personally, is because I'm the support or because I'm sometimes the day player. There's actually not as much pressure on me as much. So I actually find it quite comforting because that means I can just have fun with it. I get to have fun with whatever character I have, and I get to I don't have to worry about how well it does because I'm just having fun with it to a certain extent. It's probably gonna condemn me a little bit, so I apologize in advance. But there is a tremendous amount of freedom in the characters that are not the leads because again the characters are very clear and you get to have a lot of fun with it. If you're the villain, you get to be the raging bad guy. If you're the comic relief, the idea is to make everyone smile. So,
And I've come to also learn that if at first I was taken aback a little bit by the seeming over dramaticness of the acting,
yes,
and I've come to understand that in this format, people are probably distracted sometimes by other things. So the voices have to be louder, and the
yes,
gestures have to be louder. And I also understand that you have some talent in the accent area.
oh yes. So
Tell us about though, yeah.
So anytime I get to throw in an accent here and there, I ask the director, I'm like, can I do this in this accent? 9 times out of 10, they're like, just do it. Just do it. And one of my favorites as probably it's a minor part, but it's probably one of my most favorite roles, and arguably I would say the best vertical of the year, which is Game of Choice.
Oh yes.
I was brought in, I was there for 4 hours, one scene. And I asked the director, hey, can I give this doctor a German accent? And he just shrugged his shoulders and said go for it. And then said, number 21 is out. I say we get rid of her. And part of the accent always came from when I was a kid, actually. A lot of my way into acting really was I would mimic voices all the time. I would mimic these voices, and a lot of them had accents. And so I sort of just realized the ability I can sort of just switch on a dime and go right into whatever accent I choose. And this is one of my specialties. Although I have joked that if you learn the Russian accent, you get to be villain for the next 20 years.
You gotta watch it then.
And then the other one of my favorite is my Scottish. This is a good one. And if I really go into it, this is more of a gas glow. Accent, very thick and in there. So I like the fact that when I'm allowed to throw in an accent, I get to have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. And to me, that also, when people and casting directors see you being as versatile, that that expands your ability to cast. Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's if you need one of the big aspects in verticals, what I've noticed is communication. And the thing with communication is sometimes the crews and the actors don't all speak the same language. Sometimes you can have 3 or 4 different languages on a set, if you can believe that. And being able to, if not necessarily speak every language, you can sort of, okay, this man is supposed to be Russian. Can you do a Russian accent even though you speak English? And I go, absolutely, I can do it on a dime. And that just saves you the trouble of having to do it. So you have a lot of fun there. And especially if it's a last second decision, which does happen. If you have someone who can just step in and go, yeah, I can do it, then you're automatically very castable.
Yeah. And you mentioned Game of Choice.
Yes.
Wow.
A crown jewel, in my opinion, of the vertical community. Like I'm not exaggerating when I say that is the best vertical I've ever seen. And that's probably the one I have the most pride in being in. Even if I was in it briefly, I don't care. It was amazing to watch. And I have to give credit. So Felix Merbeck as Lafayette.
Oh my goodness.
Felix was actually the first. He was actually my first werewolf one that I was in. I was his beta, and that was one of the first ones I did last year, actually. So that was my meeting him, and I knew the guy could act, but this was just something that was like, oh my God, this is Heath Ledger Joker level performance.
Exactly.
Like this is not just a performance. This is an icon. Like this character is going to be, even if the show fades a little bit, that character is going to be remembered.
I agree.
More than anything else.
He was sinister, over the top, scary,
but so
funny.
fun. But you can also tell, like, truth be told, like The Dark Knight actually got me into acting. Like that was the Joker. Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker got me into acting, because not only was it an icon, you could tell that he was having the absolute time of his life playing that character. And that's my goal as an actor, to play a character that you have when you have the absolute time of your life playing, that it transcends who you are.
Yeah, that role will stick with me forever. Then he's just amazing. Now I'm in addition to other actors, I'm looking for more projects that he's in, just to see how he handles things. So,
of course,
yeah, it was fun. And Michael, I'm going to go back to you because
we got a few things in the chat room.
What we got?
We got this is from Samantha. Hi, how are you? Do you have a place or country you would love to visit, either for work or vacation?
Thank you for asking this question. I have 3 for this. My number one is I want to go to Istanbul so bad, and I would love to do it. I'm putting this energy out. I am manifesting it. Please send me to Istanbul. Do not to film either 1, 2 verticals. I don't care. Send me there to work, but don't buy me a return ticket. I want to stay there for like a week so I can explore that city, because I'm a huge history buff. And Istanbul.
Okay.
Yes. Slight diversion, but last year, which is also something I'm very proud of as an actor, was that I was able to take a vacation paid for by doing acting work, which I was so proud of. And it was to Greece. I had never been to Greece before. And it was amazing. It was an absolutely incredible experience. So was
that for a vertical or for something else?
No, that was just a personal vacation for me.
Oh, I thought you said you went.
No, I wish. I wish. The other location I'd love to go to for work is London, because I lived there for about a month and a half in college. So that was like home for me. The other places, I would love to go to Morocco, because it's supposedly it's amazing. And then the other place I would love to go, and especially for work, would be New Zealand, because The Lord of the Rings was kind of the thing that if The Dark Knight got me into acting, The Lord of the Rings got me into movies. I'm like, I want to do. It's like, this is amazing. I would love to film here.
Yeah, we've had several other guests that have said something similar, that they really wanted to travel to New Zealand because of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they have said, which is great, because it's like, and Aisha says, verticals almost sound like the old silent movies where actions were limited, so facial reactions counted for a lot.
That's actually, I'd never thought of it that way. That's actually
I haven't either, but that's
actually that's a very cool insight.
Yeah.
That's a really, really cool insight. Yeah, it's I think the funny part with that is that it's, in my opinion, it's almost kind of the opposite though, is that actually verticals tend to be very dialogue driven. Yes, the expressions are very big, and you're going, how dare you speak to Mr. Norman like that? So yeah, the expressions are big, but they're so dialogue heavy.
But then again, you think about it, back in the silent era, they usually said that stuff, but you couldn't hear them. You just
and then they would post
what it was,
right?
And so I mean, that is very interesting.
I know, I'd have to think of it that way. That's actually really interesting. Thank you, Aisha, for pointing that out. That's brilliant.
Yeah, because that is really, yeah. I mean, Yeah.
Oh, that's
if they'd had sound back then, they might have done the same thing when they were just starting.
Well, they kind of did though, because that was, if you look at one of the best examples, if you ever watch Singing in the Rain, that transition to dialogue and stuff like that, which was essentially the first talking movies, were essentially taking plays and try to turn them into movies, which has its flaws, to say the least. At least it doesn't work like that. You can't do that much exposition on screen. It doesn't work like that. It just can't be done. The medium doesn't work as well.
No, it's different. It's different. So, but Marcia, do you want me to go back to you, or?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. I wanted to hop on something. Both Mike and I are huge sci-fi nerds, geeks.
Whatever you want to call us, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy people, yeah.
Super. And
passionate people.
I loved seeing your Jedi lightsaber.
Thank you.
How many lightsabers do you have?
I have three. I have one red, one green, and one blue. And the blue one was actually my blue one was the first one, and I bought it. I bought it in 2017, right before The Last Jedi came out. And what was cool about that, I will never forget this as long as I live, which was, I think it was the Saturday after The Last Jedi came out. In downtown LA, they basically brought together, I want to say there was at least 200 or 300 people with all their lightsabers out and fun like that. And you basically had this like massive, it wasn't really combat, but I mean, people kind of fought and had to have play duels and stuff like that. And that was all done downtown in the park. And that was incredible to be a part of.
Wow.
So I will never forget just how many people were there, how much passion was behind it. So it was an absolute blast. And yeah, that would have been my thing, is I would love to be involved in Star Wars as a Jedi or as a Sith or as any type of Force wielder, because that's what you wanted to be when you were a kid. And I'm like, this is my fantasy brought to life.
Now, have you seen all of the movie?
Oh yes, I've seen almost all the media aspects of Star Wars. My friend
all the Disney Plus stuff and everything.
The only thing, actually, ironically, I have not watched Andor. I keep meaning to watch it. I never get around to it.
You haven't? Oh, you need
I know. I am ashamed, but I need to get around to watching it. And I hear it's amazing. So that's why I'm like, okay, let's find a day to get down and do it.
So what are your favorite Star Wars?
Revenge of the Sith is definitely my favorite, because that was me like when I was a teenager. So it came out, I grew up on the prequels, which meant lots and lots and lots of lightsaber duels more than anything else. So that was my huge. And what I like about Revenge of the Sith is that it is, and what I really like about the prequels is that it's the opposite of a hero's story. It is a Greek tragedy, ultimately.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Count Dooku. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Sir Christopher Lee. Oof. An amazing actor. I love his character so much.
Do any of your lightsabers make the sounds?
They do. Unfortunately my batteries are dead on them, but they do the turn on when you swing. They make the noise when they clash. They make the noise. That was. I've read multiple times in many interviews that the actors who are playing Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, what they do is that they have a tendency to make the noise when they do the motions. And George is like, we'll add those in later, guys. Stop doing it. Stop making the noise.
But how much fun. My partner is a humongous Star Wars fan. I mean, absolutely humongous. And he's looking at there's so much so many Star Wars references that are in so many media, movies, television shows. We almost can't help but say things. So do you have some a quote or something from Star Wars that you particularly like?
I mean, it's so cliche, but the do or do not, there is no try.
Oh yes.
Is one of my absolute favorites, because it actually does highlight really how you should think of it. Is that it's like, you're not going to try something, you're going to do it, you're probably going to mess up your first time, but you're going to keep doing it again and again. You'll learn. You will learn from that. And that's why really this year especially, which was I'm trying to start creating my own series, as well as try to get some verticals out there as well that I'm creating. And it's like, no, I'm not going to try my hand at writing. I am a writer. And that's how you start thinking. That's how you start thinking of yourself, is you think of yourself as whatever you want to be, and you'll do it automatically because it becomes a part of your identity.
Now, you mentioned your own projects. Is one of them something I read, the Gottschalk Chronicles?
Yeah, so I am designing my own IP for a new breed of superhero and supervillain. And the way that most of these characters work is that they get their powers from gods.
Yes.
And so what's nice about it is that The Boys was a huge influence on it. That's probably one of the I would rank that as one of the top 5 shows, if not of this decade, of definitely the past 20 the past 20 years. In that it is so relevant to today.
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought to the idea, it's like, okay, all these heroes are created artificially. They're all brands. What if I made the opposite? What if these characters were not chosen by people or chosen by accident? They were chosen by forces that were beyond their control. And their whole identity, the whole identity of a lot of these heroes and even these villains really is that they don't tend to fight white collar crime. Sorry, they tend to fight white collar crime rather than like street crime and stuff like that. So it's a very different type of war on crime. Crime. So that's something very cool. And what I did was I have 4 pitch decks. I'm working on a 5th as we speak. And all of them do take place in that universe. So I want to kind of build that universe in the vertical world, because it does lend itself to that way, because the stories can be small, but they can still be very intimate and very passionate. And that's the key. And ultimately, these characters are still human beings. They're powerful, but they're still human beings. They still love. They still feel pain. They still want more than what they're given. And that's a very relatable story. And it's also fun when you can say, it's like, oh my God, I just made out with a avatar of a god.
Not bad.
No.
So where are you along in the project? Are you?
It's still in its infancy stage. I have outlines for about 30 different projects already made. It's more just bringing them into life and being able to shoot some footage for them, as well as trying to convince the other platforms and the other production companies to say, I've got ideas. Let's make them, and let's make them cheap first.
So live action or animated?
Most they're all going to be live action. At least I'm aiming for them all to be live action.
And are you planning to be in?
I am in them, but I'm not always the lead. I am not always the lead. We'll put it this way: of the four pitch decks of the 4 projects that are already prepared, I'm only leading one of them. The other 3, I'm the villain in one. Actually, I'm the main villain in one of them. I am the assistant to the leading lady in another, and then I'm kind of the driving force in the 4th one. So I get to bounce around a lot. And that's the other thing I'd also like to point out, is that sometimes the supporting characters tend to be a lot more interesting and a lot more fun, especially for guys, because guys, we tend to be male leads in verticals tend to be very, very narrowly defined. There are exceptions, but generally speaking, the characters are quite similar. So it's sometimes more interesting to play the assistant, which can be anything from comic relief to the conscience to sometimes even the villain.
Or all 3.
Or all three. Or
whatever, yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is an interesting question. I don't know how you're going to answer. Samantha asks, if you could meet any sci-fi character, who would it be?
I could meet any sci-fi character. It's one of those characters. That's a funny question, because it's like, okay, there's characters I wouldn't mind meeting, but they'd also be scary to be around.
Precisely, but that's no.
Honestly, honestly, if I could hang out with anyone, probably would be a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because I feel like he'd actually be fun. He'd be the only Jedi that's like, hey, let's go have a drink.
He would.
Let's go have a
Get into
drink.
some mischief.
Yes. Well, the problem is, though, he would get every girl, though. Every girl would be throwing themselves at him.
Probably, yeah.
Yes. Because he's got the charm, he's got the wit, and he's celibate.
He's got the accent.
He's got the accent. Oh, can I point this out? I've thrown this into a little comedy aspect with a thick Scottish accent. Which is like, I never understood why ladies find this accent to be really sexy. I mean, can you imagine being on a date with him?
I love a Scottish accent. I'm sorry.
I know. I put a poll once on my Instagram of like what accent do people think is the sexiest? The sexiest. Scotland was number 2. Britain was number 1.
Okay.
They love the Brit, but that might be because I have a mostly American audience.
Very well could be. You never know. You never know. You might have some that you don't know.
No, that's true. Well, the funny one was I actually got quite a few South African.
Yes.
That's a lot. They like the South African.
One of my co-hosts is South African. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But yes,
so that's what I'm used to listening to it now. But at first, it was very difficult for me because I kept going, why does this remind me of another language? And then I remembered Dutch. That's what did it, and that's great. That was
my mother's a travel agent, and she gets to go to conferences all over the country sometimes. And one of her speakers was Irish. And apparently he had the most melodic, soothing, lovely accent voice. And everyone in the group was like, no, wait, keep speaking. We want you to keep speaking. Your voice is so amazing.
It's so interesting. Is there a language you prefer to do when you're doing a vertical if you had a choice? Or do you wait to see what the character is and you try to match it?
Generally, I try to match it. I used to have it where if the character was like a butler, which I actually had quite a few auditions for that, I would always do 2 takes. I would do one in American, and then I would honestly do one in sort of an upper class British accent like this, and say, yes, of course, sir. So kind of for the hell of it, but it's like, hey, if you want British, I've got British for you. I've gotten lucky also. I did a feature this year where I had to be a Texan. So I had a Southern accent as well. So that was I joke now that it's like when some people ask, can you do a British accent? It's the same with the Southern. Okay. Do you want Texan? Do you want Mississippi? Do you want Alabama? Do you want Tennessee? They're all very different.
All very different.
They're all very, very. If I do more of a Tennessee, it's more of a twang up like this. Whereas if I go more of a Texan like this, it's a deeper feel for it.
Yeah, and that's what some people don't realize, that they all have a little different.
They're all very different. Well, and English is the same way. Do you want London? Do you want Nottingham? Do you want Yorkshire? Do you want Kent? They're all different.
Yeah, they're all different.
And then, do you want Cockney? You want a little Cockney on there, mate?
Are you also into fantasies or just mainly sci-fi?
Oh, big time fantasy. So
I guess Lord of the Rings is a fantasy. So.
Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones would be something. I love the fact that they are putting on more series, and I am really, really, really hoping that a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I believe comes out this week. Sunday. Who?
Are you going to watch it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I usually don't do this, but I'll do it on air for you. Our network is going to have a review show of that on Monday evenings, and if you want to be on, it would be 5 p.m. Monday evening.
Okay, I can do that. 5 p.m. Eastern or Eastern or Pacific?
No, Pacific time.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Now, I want it to do well because I'm very familiar with the lore and stuff like that, where there are characters in the Game of Thrones universe that I'm like, come on, guys,
Let's put them in. Let's get to a thing
I'm
with
made
them.
for this. I'm made for this part. Come on, guys. Guys, I would love to play.
And I don't dare tell you that one of our co-hosts that I get to sub sometimes,
yes,
was in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon.
Really? Okay, wait.
Yes.
Crud, who is it? Gonna torture me.
His name is Daniel Fathers.
Daniel Fathers. Who does he play, or who is he?
He was one of the councils.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I would love. For those familiar with it, I would love to. I know that they're supposedly going to start making Aegon's Conquest. I would love to be either Aegon himself or Oris Baratheon. That would be a fun part.
It all depends what they're going to do, but yeah,
I know. We don't know. We don't know. That's the short answer.
Because they've started some and then they've changed their minds. So
I know. Well, and the timetables can be kind of nuts. Yeah. So. But yeah, we're getting two Westerosi series this year. We're getting Night of the Descending Kings. We're getting House of the Dragon.
And House of the Dragon season 3. Yeah.
Supposedly we're getting 3 battles in this season.
I know, that is just.
It's gonna be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah, we'll be reviewing that show too. So
wonderful.
We like doing that. So
love it.
What we do. But Marsha, I'm going to go ahead to you for your final little round.
Okay.
Well, your last name, Camacho. My partner would never forgive me if I didn't mention this. He loves this movie, Idiocracy. I don't know if you've seen.
I saw that movie when I was young. I need to rewatch it. It's been a long time.
And so he wanted me to bring that up to you that you might have a descendant in the far future. That is because the president's name was Camacho. So
oh my God, I forgot.
Look to the future, Evan.
Indeed.
So.
Well, if Schwarzenegger's any example, future in politics.
There you go.
That's funny. I need to rewatch that movie.
Oh yeah, it's a fun movie. Probably a little too close to where we are now, but yeah. So when I saw a fun thing, you were on the cover of a magazine called Medium.
Yes. I apologize if I mispronounce his name. I believe his name is Angel or Angel. He is such an awesome dude because he interviews all these vertical stars and basically makes magazine covers for them with the interviews and the articles, not really inside them, but it's all online. And it was such an honor to be a part of it because it really got to share my part of the story. And mind you, I did that interview probably, God, I must have done it 3 or 4 months ago. So it's been a while and a lot has changed even since then. So it's amazing to see what people have to say through their words. And that's the cool part is a lot of these interviews are kind of done by us. And it's like, oh, what do we think of our journeys? As well, and what are we most proud of, and what do we want? That's the big one. Is do they want to continue? And now that SAG is getting involved with verticals, I am very curious what the future is going to hold.
Yeah.
So
things are rapidly morphing and changing in storyline and content. I think the audience too is changing, and
the audience wants it's something in Hollywood. Audiences always want something new. It doesn't always have to be. It can still be familiar, but it's got to be something a little different. We like something. Keep things spicy. Keep things moving.
So what do you see next as the next step, perhaps?
The next step, in my opinion, and I know it's happened a few times, but the amount of times it's happened you can count on one hand, is sequels.
Yes.
Because I notice a lot of verticals, their villains especially, they don't kill off the villains most of the time. They're usually either arrested, or in the case of one of my characters, I just leave. I'm
Mm-hmm.
broke, but I'm broke, but I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I'm not even injured. I'm just kicked off the premises.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that they did do a couple of sequels. I know, like Falling for a Superstar, I had a very, very brief thing in that one.
Mm-hmm.
In that one. And so sequels do work. It is also a matter of, okay, then do we start shifting towards franchises, which I don't know. It's possible.
Mm.
It's very possible. I would caution trying to gear every single vertical towards that. But I kind of when it comes to television, especially, I subscribe to what I call the European model, which is, if you know you can't do if you're not 100% certain that you can do better next time, you have two choices. At least this is with television. You have two choices. You either stop it where you are and just leave on a high note, or you maybe do one more season to wrap things up. And I think verticals can go the same way,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is, okay, always have a self-contained story. There is the potential for there is the option for a sequel, but it should never be a requirement. You should be able to end a story right there and say, okay, if we want to come back to it, great. If we don't want to come back to it, we don't need to come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Game of Choice is one which, I mean, come on, they led us right to the door.
They did, but I like the fact that they still left it closed off enough that it's like, if they wanted to stop it, they could just stop it right there. But you're right, it's like the fact that they did, slight spoilers, but it's like the fact that they didn't kill off the main villain. It's still around. The games themselves are still very much around. I think what you can do with that one is very similar to, did you guys ever watch Knives Out?
I haven't.
I did not know.
Oh, you need to watch it. The Knives Out, it's a trilogy now. There's 3 of them, but none of the only through line is Daniel Craig's character. It's a different story each time, and it doesn't connect to the other stories at all. Each one is its self-contained story. The only constant is Daniel Craig's character, and I could see Lafayette being that constant. And what's nice about that is that he's actually not supposed to be the Vogus. He's the constant, but he is not the main character.
He's not the
right. The story is not about him,
right.
but you come to see him and his interactions with this new cast of characters.
Interesting.
It's kind of like a game. It really is like a game shows again. Like
exactly. Yes.
Right. Like Survivor, a beautiful example. Jeff Probst. He's the host. He's the main character, but it's his interactions with it's the interactions of the players that keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very wise thing to do, which is keep things changing, but you can still make things similar.
Well, thinking of talking about Survivor and Jeff Probst leads me to my final question. Is I love to ask, there are a lot of reality shows, there are a lot of competition shows, there are a lot of from cooking to dancing to if Evan Camacho had to choose a show in which to compete, what do you think it might be?
I have one answer to that. It would be The Amazing Race.
Oh, okay.
I've been introduced to The Amazing Race when I was a kid. My family actually applied when they were doing the family edition.
Yeah.
We applied for the family edition. Didn't make it, but that's okay. And the fact that you get to travel and try all this amazing and sometimes weird stuff would be a blast.
Wow.
Would be an absolute blast. Survivor's interesting because I'm like, okay, it would be fun, but I'm not as much of a survivalist as I used to be. I was a Boy Scout growing up, so I'm like, I think those camping skills have atrophied considerably, so I'd have to really whip myself back into shape to do that one.
But that might be a possibility.
That might be a possibility.
Okay.
So yeah, I was actually offered one of the first things I ever got when I first got to LA, and I regret I should have done this, but I didn't know enough about it at the time, which was I did actually get an offer to be on The Bachelorette.
Oh.
But some of the there was a lot of really confusing stuff. It was one of those where it seemed a little too good to be true at the time, and mind you, this was 10 years ago, so I didn't have the mindset that I have now. So it was something I didn't know about. It was very, very confusing. I didn't know how any of that worked. So had it done it 5 years later, absolutely I would have done it. But at the time, I just made a mistake.
Oh. Okay, so Evan Camacho, Amazing Race. Okay.
Yep.
Write that down.
Yes. Well, I need a partner. I always need a partner then.
I was thinking about that. So
yeah, I always need a partner. I don't know who I'd take. Hard to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us and sharing so much of yourself with us. And I am going to throw it back to Michael and hope that you come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Aisha had a last thing she made a comment when you were talking about the accents. She said British West Midlands, Birmingham. If you can crack that,
oh boy,
you're good.
I'll
warn you, she is from the UK, so she knows her accents. So.
I will need to make sure that I know exactly where there's. Oh, sorry, that's Australia. This is Australian accent. I had to learn how to do an Australian accent for a few auditions. I think I tried out for General Hospital. I think like 5 times, and each and every time they wanted me to do an Australian accent, so I just learned how to do it. And one of my acting teachers was Australian, so she was very good. She's from Melbourne, Australia. So she was very helpful in me learning that as well. So I would have to. Aisha, send me that accent on Insta, and I will try it.
Okay, there you go.
I will definitely. I will try it. I need to. My thing with accent is I need to hear it.
You need to hear it. Yeah.
I need to hear it. That's how I mimic voices. I need to be able to hear it, and then I would sort of go from there.
Go from
there. You need a good ear.
Yes, you do. I do not have a good ear, so I'm not even gonna try. But anyway, I'm just gonna say, like Marsha did, thank you very much for coming. We would love to have you back. Those people in the chat room, thank you for throwing up your questions. Thank you for being there.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And subscribe and follow us, NDB Media and Challenge Universe. And Evan, please follow him too.
Thank you, everyone.
It's what's new.
Instagram's on the bottom. I'll always have more news to push out, and I hope you guys enjoyed your time today.
Yeah, we hope you did too. Everyone, take care.
This is a very
and
good
we'll
fun.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.